Here's the Steadicam that I built. It's based on the Merlin design. It has a couple of unique features. The base plate that the camera mounts on is a quick disconnect base plate that's designed to go on a camera tripod, and it allows you to remove the camera from the unit with just a push of the button, and yet it's still very stable and it locks down really tight. So it makes it really easy to remove the camera. What I did was I made the tubes out of wind chime tubes. I made the handle out of a flashlight, and then I put my panning ring just above the top of the flashlight, so you don't ever have to touch the camera in order to move it to where you want to move it. It just seemed to me that would give it more stability, and it seems to. This seems to be a very, very stable platform, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. It cost me about $120 total to build it, and I think it probably is as stable as the regular Merlin. What I'll do with the rest of this video is break down how I actually put this together and give you a little more detail on it, and then I'll include two more details or two more videos on the breakdown of how it's actually put together. And then what I'll do is go out and actually make a video and show you the actual results of how stable the video is with this stabilizer. So for now, this is it, and we'll continue on with the video. Okay, one thing that I want to mention is how I bent the tubes. I didn't want to squash the tubes, which seems to be a common problem. So what I did was I took, again, one of the wind chime tubes. I plugged one end with a brass plug and then epoxied that end and let it dry. And then I filled it with sand and tapped the sand down to make sure it was settled really well. And then I put another brass plug in the other end, epoxied end, let it set up. And then I made this fixture here. It's really simple, out of a piece of 2x6, and then I just cut a couple of chunks off of a 2x4, and this was off of a 2x6 here. And all I did was put the tube in here like that, and it was actually pretty difficult. I couldn't bend it with my hand. So what I had to do was set this apparatus down on the floor in the garage and brace my back against the workbench and put my feet against, or my foot against the end of this tube, and push like crazy around this form here. And it seemed to work really well. When I got done, the tube was well bent. It compressed it a little bit on one end, but not much at all. And it came out very well. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. So that's how I did it. For the base plate to mount the camera onto the Steadicam, I elected to use a commercial base plate. It's designed as a quick release base plate that you mount to a tripod, and then it allows you to have a quick release function on for your camera onto the tripod itself. This one here is made by Vanguard. It's the model PQ-46 quick release base plate. I bought it from Amazon.com for $29.95. This one is particularly nice because it's got two levels built into it, which you really need for balancing the Steadicams. And so it gives you balance indication for right and left tilt and forward and aft tilt. So these level indicators right here, right there, are built right into the device and make it really handy. So this comes with this base plate and the quick release adapter plate. What I had to do was modify the quick release adapter plate slightly, because this screw is designed to go into this slot here, and my camera, which is a Canon HF 200, has the mounting hole offset just a bit, so I had to move the screw off to the side. That way I can mount the camera and it's totally centered or completely centered over the plate. So the way this works is you take the quick release adapter and the plate and you slide it in and it'll click. Once it clicks, it can't come off. And then what you do is you slide it to where you want it and you tighten down this knob right here, and let's tighten it down a bit. There we go. So once it's tight, the plate can't come off, and so it makes a really convenient way for balancing the whole system. You just move the entire camera assembly back and forth, and it's a good way for doing a balance. The way you release it is to push this little red button right here, and then the whole thing just pops off. So what I did was, this comes with 3 holes pre-drilled. That one, and that one. And what I elected to do was to use this hole here near the center to actually mount my gimbal assembly. So I got a bolt down at the hardware store, and I ground off the head because the head was just too thick for this application. And it goes down in through here. Like that. And then by grounding off the head, it puts the head below the surface of this base plate here. That way when you go to put the adapter plate on, there's nothing there to interfere. It doesn't hit. So this is how I mount the gimbal assembly to the base plate. Now the gimbal assembly, I elected to use a flashlight. This one here I got as a white elephant gift at a Christmas party. And as soon as I saw it, I immediately thought of the Steadicam, and so I had to select it as my gift. It's made of metal, so it's nice and sturdy. What I did was I purchased 2 OFNA universal joints off of eBay. They're made of stainless steel. This one is an OFNA 15100, cost $29 for a set of 2 of them. And it's probably the smoothest you're going to find of any of the commercially available universal joints. This one's made for a remote control automobile of some sort, and it's just absolutely smooth. It's very well machined. So what I did was I took the universal joint, and I wanted my panning ring, which is this brass piece right here. I wanted to have that not on the camera. In most home do-it-yourself applications, what I've found is that people are using the panning ring up at the camera itself. And I wanted to isolate, my thought was that if I put the panning ring on the camera, when I go to pan, then I'm going to be disturbing the motion of the camera itself, and I didn't want to be moving that. It's designed to be steady. And so my thought was if I put the panning ring below the universal joint, then it'll have less impact on the stability of the camera itself, and that seemed to work out very well. So what I did was I took a piece of brass that again I got off of eBay. It was 1 3/8 inch diameter and 1 foot long, and it cost me $35. So what I did was I took a chunk of that and slabbed it off. I drilled a hole in it, and then I pressed it over the universal joint shaft. And after I got that done, then I took it and pressed it down through a bearing. And let me show you this bearing here.